Okay, we got the 24-hour cold climate operational ration pack, menu 4. Snow is coming down now. Hope this fire can keep me warm. Dub C here, we're back on our survival Saturday. It's gonna be cold, it's gonna be windy, it's gonna be snowy. And I don't have no hot tin or stove to keep me warm. All I got is my shelter, or what's left of it. This is my winter shelter from last year. I had to gut it out because nature overtook it. Mold, mice, there actually is still some mice crawling around right now I'll have to take care of. But a lot of problems with it, and it's probably just my first time building it. I made a lot of mistakes. But stay tuned to see how I fix it, maybe see it making it livable with some clear plastic. For the food, I actually have a 24-hour cold climate operational ration pack, British cold weather. I think this will be awesome. I'm really excited to check it out. Hoping it'll keep me warm and sustain the calories I need to keep going. For the gear, somebody actually in the comments in past videos had mentioned I was reviewing a different hatchet. They said, if you want a real hatchet, get a Hults Bruk. So I did. I'm really excited to try it out. It's made in Sweden, and I'm definitely gonna need it to tear the shelter down. So let's get started. Okay, first thing to get started, I actually am gonna just take this complete wall out. I think one of the biggest mistakes I made was when I built this, I enclosed it too much. So all the moisture and everything got trapped in there. It made it easier for animals to nest in it. So if I take this wall out and then I line or drape clear plastic here, and I'm gonna run a long fire or Siberian long fire, let that heat radiate through the clear plastic and then hold it in. And if I put the Pathfinder reflective tarp on the other side, I can just let that heat just radiate inside the shelter. We'll see if it works out. If not, it's gonna be a cold night. Okay, I got the firewall out. Now I can actually start patching up the inside, cleaning some of this debris out, put some clear plastic on the inside to keep that heat in, and then I can run the drape. I also have a few holes in the ceiling that the mice actually chew through, and that's where they're kind of dropping in. So I'll get that patched up as well. All right, this is a little hole that one of the mice jumped through, and I'm gonna go and patch all these because I really don't want mice to dive bomb me when I'm trying to sleep. Love this all-weather tape. Just slap it on and seal it. Just as I was taping the hole, he actually jumped out. So definitely gonna have a fun night. All right, now I got all the ground cleared up. I got all the holes in the ceiling patched up. I haven't seen my mouse friend in a minute, but I'm sure he'll be back. I got the clear plastic on the back. Now I just have to do the side and then the drape up front. And then hopefully get this done. I got about an hour and a half before I lose daylight, and I still have to get wood for the fire. Well, that's one way to work up an appetite, but I'm far from eating dinner. So, got the tarp affixed here, but the wind is absolutely killing me. It's actually blowing this thing like a sail. I don't know if it's gonna hold up. I actually had to run a log across the bottom and kind of weigh it down. I'm hoping it holds up. It gave out a few spots already, but I'm just trying to see if I can make a temporary shelter for the night. But let's go ahead and check it out inside. The good thing is this is at least getting me out of the elements. It's just starting to snow right now, and the wind is just ripping, and it's cold wind. It's burning my hands right now. But I'm hoping I don't have any tears or rips throughout the night with this wind. If it picks up, it may, but I'll have to repair it. I did get the back and side walls done. I threw some dirt on the bottom to hold that in. And again, it's just nice without the wind in here. And I did leave the door, my tarp door, up because that really didn't get affected by the thing. But that does seem where all the mice are right now. So maybe that was a bad idea. Okay, next thing on the agenda is to get some firewood so I can have a nice fire, get warmed up, and then it's dinner time. Okay, I got some firewood, time to make a fire. I'm going with a long fire tonight, and basically at the edge of my shelter right here, and I'll take 3 strides out. That's where I want to have my fire, and we'll start it in the middle and spread it across. I'm going to be using the Bigfoot Bushcraft fire starter. I actually got this from Ryan Outdoors. He hooked me up with some to test out. He has an awesome channel. Definitely go check him out. But they come with like little starting plugs, and you're basically supposed to pull one out and break it up and then use it as tinder. So they come out in these little plugs, and you want to break them in half, and you want to expose those fibers. Because I'm going to be using a ferro rod to start the fire. And of course you could use lighter, but all that fiber is what actually ignites. And you break these up, get that all exposed, and we'll throw a spark on it. And then you can place it on a piece of bark, so when you ignite it, you can just move it right to the fire. Let's go and fire it up. Okay, we got it lit. Now we'll go and place it in our fire lay. Roll smalls over top. Oh yeah, that tinder's got a nice burn time. Should be plenty enough to catch everything and have a nice fire. Okay, I'm inside the shelter. Got a nice fire going, and it's dinner time. So let's bust out that cold climate ORP. Okay, we got the 24-hour cold climate operational ration pack, menu 4. Looks like production date was 8/18. Special thanks to Salt the Croc for sending this my way to check out. I'm starving. Gonna go ahead and there's no peelable seal or anything, so I'll just cut the back and see what we got. This ration is loaded. So first thing we got some Just Nuts. Ooh, nice. We got some natural muesli with milk. Sorry about the glare. I don't have the best lighting right now. We have freeze-dried chicken tikka with rice. That sounds amazing. We have a freeze-dried rice pudding with strawberries. Ooh, we got a chocolate brownie. We got a Tutti Frutti drink powder. Got a fruit-flavored energy drink, apple. Got biscuit brown. We have a cola-flavored drink. Some smooth peanut butter. Looks like some boiled sweets. Digestive biscuits. Oh, got a sesame seed bar. Pineapple, mango, and papaya fruit mix. Got a massive milk chocolate bar. And then we have an accessory kit. It does have the cold climate ration feedback and prize draw entry form, so you can kind of go through things and mark if you like it a lot, like it, or dislike it. But there's more. We have the big old accessory kit. Comes in a big bag, and you can use the bag to save all kinds of stuff. We got some 3-in-1 coffee. That's awesome. Actually got a total of 3 3-in-1 coffees. Big old packs of sugar. We got 2 alcohol-free antibacterial wipes. A 3-in-1 tea. We got some chewing gum. Big old spork. Some weatherproof matches. And 6 water purification tabs. Okay, for dinner we're going to have the 3-in-1 tea. We'll use the wipe to clean up. Biscuits brown, milk chocolate, apple energy drink, freeze-dried chicken tikka with rice, and chocolate brownie. Okay, I got water warming up for main in the tea. I'll go ahead and clean up with the alcohol-free antibacterial wipe. These are pretty nice because they're pretty big, and they're actually pretty durable compared to most wipes. My hands are super dirty, so really nice to get them cleaned up. Go ahead and mix up our fruit-flavored energy drink, apple. It needs 500 milliliters of water. I still have a little bit more wood to collect, so this energy will be a nice kick to get me going. I'm gonna have some of these biscuit browns for dinner, and they probably have them. Oh man, they're pretty beat up. But I figured they'd be good with the main, so we'll keep a couple out there. We have the chocolate brownie. Open it up. Water's about ready for the main, so let's go ahead and take a look at it before we add water. From Summit. Get the oxygen tab out. Looking like it might be spicy. I'm all about that. This main calls for 275 milliliters of hot water. All right, we'll get the tea ready. It's really cool, a 3-in-1 tea. That makes it really easy to mix up. And I typically don't like cream or sugar, but when they do these 3-in-1s, they get the combo of the sugar and creamer just right. Go ahead and have some of the chocolate for dessert as well. It's a big old bar of chocolate, and I do prefer dark chocolate over the milk chocolate, but go ahead and give it a try and see what it's all about. That water ready for the tea. Go ahead and add that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try this brownie real quick. Looks pretty dense. I see like pieces of chocolate in there. I prefer that brownie over the American MRE. It actually has a crunch to it. It might be because it's cold, but it has a nice bite to it. It's not like soft and chewy. It reminds me of like an edge piece of the brownie, which is the best part. But I'm going to go ahead and wash it down with this tea while it's still hot. Yeah, that's amazing. I don't know how they get the good mix right, but every time I add creamer or sugar to tea, I just ruin it. And that is really good. It has a nice balance of both creamy, sugary flavor, but I do want to try warming up this brownie in it. Trying that. Even with the hot tea, it still held up the structure, so it has a nice bite to it, and I really enjoy that brownie, especially combined with the tea. All right, the main is done. I did make it kind of soupy, but that's okay, being it's so cold out. Let's go ahead and give it a try. This is a great main. Very lightly seasoned, but very well balanced. You can taste the cumin, the coriander. It's not spicy, but I really like how it's not overly salty. It's actually just like perfectly seasoned. And now I want to try a little bit with the biscuit brown on there. While the biscuit browns are good by themselves, are good with like peanut butter or cheese, they actually take away from the flavor of the main. So I probably won't just eat it with the main. I can eat them on the side though, just because this, like I said, it has perfectly balanced seasoning, and that actually takes away from the flavor. All right, now I'm going to try the energy drink, apple. It has a very nice light apple flavoring, but all the sugar actually did not dissolve, which I'm okay with because actually the lightly sweetened is better for me. Now we can try some of this milk chocolate. It's not bad, but I do prefer the dark chocolate better. It's really super sweet, and it actually has like a waxy texture to it, which again is not bad, but it's just not my favorite. Okay, it was a great dinner. It definitely was nice in this cold weather. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and I got to work on getting some more firewood so I have enough to burn all night. Definitely snowing pretty good. Like I said, the wind's just rocking that way, and we're getting some good accumulation. I don't know how many inches we'll get tonight, but definitely interested to see. Okay, I'm not going to lie, this is actually working way better than I expected. It's about 20 degrees outside, and I'm sustaining about a 55 degree temp out. I got a small fire out there keeping me warm. I was able to use a lot of the wood from the shelter itself because I was short on time, but it's working out pretty good to make a long fire. Now I got to set up the sleep system, so I had some leftover 6mm plastic, because this is all this stuff is 6mm plastic. I'm not airtight, so I don't know how well it's, obviously it's not going to sustain the heat long as the fire goes out, but I'll try to maintain the fire as the night goes on. But I had leftover plastic. I'm using that as a ground sheet, and I'm going to try out the Climate Static V Lux as my sleeping pad. And then I got my wool blanket, and then I'm going to use the Get Out Gear Down Puffy blanket. It's crazy because I can physically feel the heat coming from the fire. I'm getting a lot of like snow is actually coming in a few spots because it's snowing pretty good outside along with the wind. And the wind is kind of a good news, bad news. Bad news because it's taking a lot of heat away because it's blowing that direction. The good news is it's not blowing towards the plastic, causing a bunch of holes. So I'll take it. But I can definitely sleep 50 degrees, no problem. That's very comfortable. As you can see, it's about 23 degrees out Fahrenheit, and then 57 degrees inside here. I have my outside thermometer set up. You don't want to air up this mat too much. I made the mistake of airing it up too much, and it was like too stiff. You can actually have a little bit of air out of it, and it's more comfortable. I'll just get my wool blanket, we'll lay that down. And I can run this two ways. I can have this basically half, and I can have one layer down and one layer to cover up with, and then I can use the Get Out Gear as an additional blanket, depending on how cold it gets. But if I can sustain this fire, I already took my coat off, it's so hot in here. Alright, now we have the Get Out Gear Down Puffy blanket, and I should have got this out a little earlier because it takes time to air out and get all the chambers full of air, so it's a little bit more insulated. But still got a little bit of time for bedtime. All right, and then for the pillow, I'm actually using the Teton camp pillow. And I don't know if I've said this before, but one of the interesting things I learned in the survival course I took at Pathfinder is your pack. 2/3 weight is recommended for a good sleep system, because if you don't sleep good, you're not going to perform in a good survival situation. Lack of sleep really hurts you. So, you know, everything fits perfectly in that Pathfinder pack. I still have to do a video on that pretty quick. Okay, it's bedtime. Just stoked the fire, got the bed all set up, and sitting pretty good. I was a little bit worried about not getting the shelter done in time and not getting enough wood, but luckily I used the wood from the shelter in which I took off that wall. That really helped me sustain. So I got enough to probably last me till the morning. But I have to stoke the fire and make sure that there's no holes in the tarp or the plastic. But I'm really impressed with this concept. Obviously, the biggest concern is it's a big area to heat, so it's not going to be super hot, but 50 degrees, I can sleep in that all day. That's very comfortable to me, especially with a wool blanket and this down puffy blanket. But yeah, I'm excited to continue eating that cold climate British ORP. Always loving breakfast time. And then, like I said, I probably have to do some more repairs tomorrow to the shelter, and this is just a temporary setup. I can take it all down real quick because I know it's not going to last like summer, just like last time. But I can save the plastic and use it. And I want to build a smaller shelter with the plastic using the same concept. Really like that, and I bet you could definitely stay warm in it. Another cool thing is I got a window with a view. The light is actually pretty awesome. You know, definitely helped me sleep watching the fire. And I guess it's lights out. Yeah, definitely not airtight. I had some snow leak on the sides, but still stayed warm. Got a lot of snow. It's currently 19 degrees outside, about 32 inside. As soon as the fire went out, it started getting pretty cold in here, and that's when I woke up. Okay, it's morning time. I'm having the 3-in-1 coffee out of the cold climate ration. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Once again, the pre-mades have the perfect amount of sweetener, perfect amount of creamer, and strong coffee taste. It's actually quite bold. Well, I did sleep. I tried to keep the fire stoked. Finally, the fire went out. Right when the fire went out, it started dropping in temp in here. Did sustain about a 32-degree temp, and I tell you what, having these hot hands, I usually have one for the feet and one for my body or wherever I get cold. These are a lifesaver, because I always try to take a couple packs with me when I'm cold weather camping, because you can, you know, put the blanket and then the down puffy blanket, they're all made to hold that heat. And if you have something generating that heat, it feels like it's like that little heater expands into a nice area where it keeps your feet warm. Or like if my back was getting cold, because I did have some snow leaking in. But yeah, it's all learning experience, and the greenhouse effect definitely works. It just I need to tune it down and make it a little bit more airtight on the next shelter I build. Well, next thing I gotta do is see if I can get me a fire going again, and then have some breakfast. Now, we all heard of birch bark being a good fire starter, but one of the best ways to recover a fire, you get some hot coals like this, stir them up with a stick. This is from my fire last night that went out, and I'll just process some birch bark, throw it in there, and initially you're gonna get a lot of smoke, but eventually that's gonna catch. And when that catches, you just throw some smalls on it and you got a fire again. Once that takes off, start throwing sticks on it. One of the cool things about snow is you get some water. You just gotta pack a cup full, go inside there, get a boil. Okay, we got a nice fire. It's time to eat breakfast. Okay, for breakfast we have the Tutti Frutti drink mix, sesame seed bar, natural muesli with milk, pineapple, mango, and papaya fruit mix, and 3-in-1 coffee. For the muesli, I'm just going to pour into this Dutch mess kit real quick, And then I'll just add the hot water, which is ready to go. We got the fire, about 100 milliliters, and then I got hot water for my coffee. I'm probably going to add a touch to this Tutti Frutti drink, just so it actually mixes all right. Now we'll just add the Tutti Frutti drink mix. Calls for 500 milliliters of cold water. I figured that'd be the best one for breakfast. I'm going to go ahead and try to cover up my muesli with the packaging to keep it warm as I can. Mix up the coffee. Now, as far as, like, I always say, like, cold weather items like First Strike bars are really difficult because you have to warm them up. Sesame seed bars, even worse. There's no way I can eat this. It's rock solid and it sticks to your teeth. What I always do in the cold weather is I'll break it up and just throw it in the coffee. And then once it gets actual soft enough to eat, then you're good to go. We'll go ahead and open up the pineapple, mango, and papaya fruit mix. Pretty full bag. I'm going to go ahead and just try some by itself, but I think everybody knows I'm just going to be adding that to the muesli. It's a nice blend of fruit, but I can definitely tell they add a lot of sugar to it. Just maybe a boost of energy. But I'm just going to throw this on that side of the muesli, and we'll mix that in. Now I think one of these sesame pieces are ready to try out. Let's go ahead and try that. Safest way to eat those sesame bars. Totally soft, didn't stick to my teeth, lots of flavor, and the coffee is very bold. And like I said, for breakfast, before breakfast coffee, I had this stuff, and I was really impressed with how bold it was, even though it has the sugar and creamer. All right, time to try the muesli without any of the fruit in it just yet. It's just a natural muesli with milk. Let's go ahead and try it. Yeah, it's very, very bland. It's straight up just oats and milk with the seeds in there. This fruit is definitely going to help. I don't like too much sweetness, but that is very, very bland. Now let's try this. Mix all that fruit in there. Oh yeah, huge improvement. I thought it would be a little bit too sweet, but because the muesli is so bland, it perfectly sweetens it. I'm going to go ahead and wash it down with the Tutti Frutti drink. Still didn't mix up the best, but I'm just getting hints of like a tropical fruit punch. It's very refreshing for morning and be definitely a great breakfast drink. But overall, fantastic breakfast. I'm going to go ahead and finish up, and then we'll take a look at the hatchet. Okay, let's take a look at this Hults Bruk Hatchet. So one of the couple reasons I need a good hatchet for bushcraft and survival. Another reason I really wanted it is because it's one of the required items to come to the Bushcraft 101 class, and probably future classes, that I'm attending at Pathfinder School. This was recommended by a few of my viewers and a lot of the people that actually took the course, but a lot of history behind this company. I mean, they've been making these axes, hatchets, many things for a very, very long time. I wish I had the date, but they're made in Sweden, and I actually picked up this off Amazon, but I think they have their own site as well. It is a little bit pricey. I think it was around, I don't know, $150 to $200, depending if it's on sale or not. But right off the bat, when I got it, I felt the weight of it, and I was very pleased by that, because I've had other hatchets that were very light and did not feel, did not feel like they would be able to chop wood very good, and they didn't. I've reviewed a couple other ones that just did not work out well. So here's the sheath. I really like that because actually just a strap that goes around the back and you pop it right off. And look at that edge. It's like a mirrored edge, and that is extremely sharp. I have not got chopped wood yet with it, but I need some firewood, so I'm going to go ahead and process them up. So go ahead and get some firewood. I'll process it up. I did use the blunt end yesterday to affix the clear plastic to the shelter. It worked out great. And I think I'm going to like this hatchet, but let's give it a test. All right, let's see how it does chopping. This thing is an absolute monster at splitting wood. Very clean cuts, very easy. Definitely the best hatchet I've had for splitting wood. Let's go ahead and chop a log. I'm extremely impressed with Hults Bruk Hatchet. Chops wood like no problem, splits wood no problem. And every time I swung on splitting, it was clean cut. On chopping, I gotta get a little bit better myself, can't blame the axe, but I can see the amount of wood removed with each swing. As far as chopping, one of the better hatchets I've seen. I'm excited to continue to practice with it and get better with it, but definitely one of the better hatchets I've reviewed and had so far. I'm gonna go ahead and finish processing some wood up, and then it's lunchtime. Okay, it's time for lunch, the final meal of the 24-hour cold climate operational ration pack. We got some smooth peanut butter, the oat digestive biscuits, some just nuts, and some freeze-dried rice pudding with strawberries. I don't know if that's supposed to be a lunch or a dessert, but that's the last mains. I'm used to like having 2 hearty mains, so this is a little different, but the directions for that freeze-dried rice pudding with strawberries is you can do hot or cold water. I'm going to do hot since it's cold out, and it's requesting 157 milliliters. Let's go ahead and take a look at the main. 4 chunks of rice, some strawberries. Let's add the hot water. And now we can open up the oat digestive biscuits. Let's go ahead and try one of those real quick. Wow, these actually are rancid. The oils went bad on them. I smelled it initially and I was like, oh, that's kind of off. And I tasted it. Instantly, mouth has a weird taste, a little bit numbing. It's probably the first time I've had like a newer ration item do that. I can only guess there's a pinhole in the packaging or something to compromise it. It's a good thing I have some biscuits brown. I can use those. I had some left over. Just go ahead and knead the peanut butter. It's a smooth peanut butter package. Add a little peanut butter to the biscuit. Oh yeah, they make a great pair together. Having those. Unfortunately, the digestive biscuits went bad, and I'm glad I was able to do this because I got the taste out of my mouth. But we'll go ahead and try the just nuts next. It's a basic peanuts, almonds. Let's go ahead and give them a try. Although very basic, it is a good snack. It has the peanuts, almonds, cashews. No, not salted. I don't think they're roasted. Again, very basic, but definitely work good and keep you have lots of energy. Let's go ahead and see if this main's done. I sliced off the top to get a nice bowl. Looks like it's reconstituted pretty good. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Now, being a huge fan of strawberries, I absolutely love this. The strawberry flavor is very natural, but it is sweetened. But the rice actually adds a good carrier. It's a little bit crunchy. I should have had the water a little bit hotter, but overall, this is a really nice main. I mean, it reminds me more of a dessert, but could be used for lunch as well. Let's go ahead and add some just nuts. Mix those in and see if we can get a crunch out of there. Adding the just nuts reminds me of like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's really nice. I mean, I suppose you could just add the peanut butter as well, but again, another excellent combo and easier to eat it. Okay, it was a great lunch except for the unfortunate bad oat digestive biscuits. Going to go and finish this up and then head to recap. Okay, time for the recap on the overnight, the gear, and the food. The overnight wasn't my warmest overnight, but it definitely worked. It was cool to test the concept of the greenhouse, but I need to scale it down. Having it one this big and not airtight, it worked, but it wasn't as effective as it could be. But I definitely got to test it and see the effects of it. As far as the food, had the 24-hour cold climate operational ration pack. Overall, it was decent for cold climate, but I've had better. I do like having hearty mains, to keep you going. The rice with strawberries was good, but I consider that more of a dessert than like a lunch main. And maybe I ate it wrong, but there was only one chicken main or hearty main to go with it. But overall, I really enjoyed that main. Everything was very nice. It had a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs. Again, I just like sweet and savory, good mix of both. The oat digestive biscuits actually were bad, and I always caution anybody, no matter how old the ration, no matter how new the ration, always be cautious of the packaging. If that packaging goes bad, so is the product inside. Just because something's new, you can buy a brand new ration or MRE, and you'll have bad components if that packaging is compromised. This hatchet was MVP. This thing is awesome. I'm very excited to have continued use with it. I think it'll do everything I need it to. Really like the feel of it, really like the weight, and it performs very well. Definitely a tried and true product, and like I said, I'm excited to take the class and see how well it does. But I learned a lot this weekend. That's what it's all about, come out here and try new things, just so if I run into a situation, survival situation, I have some experience with, I found clear plastic. Well, I can make a small shelter out of that if I don't have nothing else. Just cool new things to try and experience. That's what it's all about. So that's all I got now. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.